Self, right? So I really want us to understand that, struggling with yourself isn't a personal failure. It's often a result of how you learned how to cope, right? Some of us didn't have the skills. Some of us will come from, like I said, dysfunctional families. We got to call it how I see it. I got to be real, right? Some of us come from healthy families where we got the affirmations. Some of us were just, like I said, it was taught from the floor up. We seen arguing, we seen dysfunction, right? So, it kind of manifests into our world, to our behavior, to the way that we actually behave, and even, like I said, the relationships, right? Toxic, right? We've been hearing a lot of those narcissistic words, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I just, I want to be real, you know what I mean? So I really want us to understand that healing is something that we could do, right? But we have to be able to, like I said, look within and do the inner work within ourselves, right? We can't control other people. Things did happen to us, right? But at the end of the day is that we got to be accountable. We got to look within, and we got to be able to, like I said, do the inner work, right? So let's talk about some normalizing, reducing some shame, right? So many people are harder on themselves than they are on others, right? When it comes to self-criticism, it's often learned from the environments, from the expectations, or from our past experiences, right? Like I said, we got to be able to look at our previous experiences in regards to our life and our family dynamic, or whatever that may be for you, right? It often can feel normal to, push, judge, or even ignore your own needs, like I said, based off of your family dynamic, how you were raised, right? Some of us were in situations where we had to, raise our siblings, right? Some of us were in situations where we get our needs met, by our family dynamic, right? Some of us were in situations where it just, it was chaotic, right? It was chaotic, right? Only you know your situation, right? So I'm not going to speak on that, right? But I really want us to, like I said, develop some critical thinking and some time to really understand, right? What's really going on, right? What's really going on in our dynamic. In regards to psychoeducation, I really want to talk about, first key point I've ripped is going to be your inner voice, right? Develops over time. It's not inherently just obviously just negative, right? But I do want to take in consideration, because like I said, the world that we live in, the information that we take in, the phone time, but the usage, right? All this information is getting put. And let's be real, is it more positive information or negative information? And only you know that answer, but we gotta be real. There's a lot of negative stuff out here, right? So I really want us to understand, like so I'm saying, spend time to journal, spend time to really actively apply yourself, to really get that self-awareness, because there's a lot of things going on out here. There's a lot of information out here as well, but we got to be able to kind of have that positive well-being and really know what's going on with you, so that you're able to operate, with a good, healthy, kind of balanced lifestyle, right? Rather than you kind of just, like I said, letting life take over the steering wheel of your life, and then you just kind of you tore it from the floor, right? So